Welcome everyone. My name's Bob Harman. This is the CEO's video update for VetStem BIOPHARMA, primarily directed at our customers, pet owners, and other stakeholders like investors. It's August 9th, 2020. I want to cover today, first, the impact that COVID has had on all of us and how we here at VetStem are coping, and also how you guys have been coping in the field to try to adapt. I want to talk about our veterinary customers, pet owners. I want to talk about One Health. What does One Health really mean? And I want to talk about One Health for real and how we've implemented it. Primarily first talking about NeoWay and then talking about COVID-19. A little teaser. So what have the COVID-19 impacts been for our industry? Clearly, everybody's had to adapt. This nice picture is the lab techs that do the processing for all the animal samples that come into VetStem. Dog, cat, horse, all of our exotic animals, all the samples. These are also the technicians that are involved in creating some of our human products that we'll talk about later in this presentation. The facilities are clean room facilities, so clearly the people that are in the clean rooms are fine. They're in masks and gloved, but we all have to take huge precautions because there's a high risk. So we've implemented very complete written and trained COVID safety implementations. We are at full employment. We're actually hiring people here at VetStem, and we're expanding our laboratories. Last, we are actually making human COVID treatments here in our clean room facilities. So first, our veterinary customers and pet owners. You're out there on the front lines taking care of our pets, adapting, figuring out ways to deliver the pets into the clinic safely for the owners and for your staff. And you've been adapting and weathering this storm in an amazing manner. I commend you. The number of cases of stem cell treatments in June of this year, just a couple of months after really the COVID pandemic break, were greater than last year. You figured out how to adapt. And you, pet owners, pet parents, you figured out that it's important to maintain the health of your animals in your care and bring them into the veterinary clinics. Congratulations. We're also expanding the uses this year and last year, particularly in the area of feline uses. This year, we're a key presenter at the American Association of Feline Practitioners, feline cat veterinarians. Even though it's going to be remote, we will be a major presenter. Also, some new canine uses. Now I want to talk just a bit about what is One Health, One Medicine, One World. So clear back in the 19th century, Rudy Virchow came up with this concept that humans and the rest of the mammals were really not so different. The one medicine concept was that you could learn that human physicians and veterinarians could learn from each other. In 2006, the American Medical Association and the American Veterinary Medical Association together decided to form a collaboration. Here at VetStem, we've decided to use our veterinary data to rapidly develop human therapy, but not to forget that human data is being used to rapidly develop veterinary therapy. We've treated or provided treatments here at VetStem for more than 34 species and 44 diseases. Across all of these species, we found a commonality. And so One Health can really be applied, especially in this area of regenerative medicine. For those of you that use our services, VetStem really focused on orthopedics in its first decade since 2003, and then expanded into other treatments. But we're really focused on osteoarthritis in our small animal patients, dogs and cats, and also in horses. So the veterinary clinical data represents thousands, literally more than 10,000 patients treated, multiple formal clinical trials, many FDA submissions, and over 15 publications like this one that was used to evaluate intra-articular, meaning joint injection, of stem cells from adipose tissue to treat arthritis in dogs. And so we've created an entire suite of manufacturing and clinical expertise and regulatory expertise that we now have used. And in 2018, VetStem spun out a company called Personalized Stem Cells, Inc. It was born in 2018, and it was designed to be able to really implement in a real-world manner this One Health initiative and the idea of taking veterinary data. We didn't do this alone. In the human side, we have a whole cadre of investigators and advisors, some of the top speakers from the podium across the U.S., and even some from outside the U.S. And these are our investigators in our first phase 1/2A study. So we took this idea of osteoarthritis and translational medicine and took our veterinary clinical data, literally 15 years worth of data, thousands of data points in clinical trials, and we applied it to human medicine and applied in January 2019, only 2 months after forming this new company. And in a few short months, FDA looked at all of this great veterinary data and gave us approval for a phase 1/2A knee osteoarthritis study. That study is ongoing. It's completely enrolled now, I think more than 38 patients, and that we'll finish up that study this fall and submit to the FDA. What happened in March? COVID hit. Started in China and spread globally, and in March 13th of this year, the president made a proclamation declaring a national emergency concerning this novel coronavirus and the outbreak here in the US. So it became very real. VetStem already had some really significant experience in allogeneic, meaning donor stem cell production, that we had used in our canine business, where we collected fat, had GMP, which means FDA compliant cell expansion, to make thousands of doses of product ready to use in the case of an emergency or immediate need. We had a partner here in San Diego, Kalidi Biotherapeutics, for which we had developed human cell lines already, and we acquired those cell lines from them to jump straight into manufacturing product to go into a human clinical trial. This first clinical trial is called CoronaStem 1, and it is a adipose stem cell from donors, from healthy screened donors, that is now ready to go and can be administered intravenously. So we literally took our veterinary canine and equine respiratory data, along with our manufacturing expertise, and created CoronaStem. This is a stem cell treatment for COVID-19 patients that are hospitalized, but could also be used post-COVID for many of the problems like lung fibrosis that we see. So CoronaStem started in March with manufacturing. You remember, March 13th, declaration of state of emergency in the US. We jumped on this immediately, wrote a really nice paper that's now published in the peer-reviewed literature. We filed in May with the FDA, and in July, we got approval to do a 20-patient study. We have a hospital lined up here in California, and we'll start treating patients this month, August 2020, a short few months after the beginning of the national emergency. So VetStem really has taken one medicine to the field, to real world, to translation, formed Personalized Stem Cells, Inc. And we want to sincerely thank you, particularly our veterinary customers and pet owners. You have trusted us since 2003 with the care of your pets and providing you cell therapy products and services. And of course, all creatures great and small. Again, 34 different species we've provided treatments for globally, and we're really proud to be able to take this data to not only help our veterinary customers, but to be able to translate this into human medicine. Thank you very much.